All right, this is going to be quick. These are the riskiest, but I do believe they could be the rewardiest of stocks that I really am focused on, hyper fixated on, one could say. Okay, you have knock. People, this approval, the largest copper reserve. Okay, and we all know our girl Susie Wiles, Trump's chief of staff, dude. They're gonna call knock a foreign copper and gold mining company that wants to eliminate the federal opposition to its plan to dig a massive mine in a pristine watershed. Well, they're gonna be real careful with this, and their studies are showing that that I don't foresee that being an issue. And I'm gonna also say that at this point, copper, national security, because they need it for the AI. But I would also say the AI is so important. Adjusting imports of copper into the United States. Also, the copper tariff. That definitely was a little bit of a to-do. Addressing the threat of national security from imports of copper. They have been talking about this for a while. So this is just... Now, let's say you want to hedge your knock bet. Dude, BHP dropped on this copper tariff shit, which I think is... Ooh, haha. They did not. Well, they're down for the year. But BHP people, they're going to have copper in Australia. Copper in Madagascar, copper in America. They're the one in Arizona, one of them, Utah, one of the middle ones, but 4.89%. And then you also have Rio. Look at Rio Tinto. Them and BHP have the stake together. So double the infrastructure, double the knowledge, double the investment. I think excellent. So those, you could say Rio and BHP, safe. Now, another one that I think can benefit greatly, people. God, I think Trilogy Metals can benefit. I really do. Canadian company, but they're going to have this Ambler project. If you look up Ambler project, copper, rare earth. This one, I definitely think. Cobalt, copper, zinc, lead, gold, silver. Potential for rare earth. People, that one. And I may say that I have been talking about these for a while, okay? And TMC. Now, they've also come across a little snafu. But see, TMC, I was talking about it for months, people. Months. And I was specifically talking about TMC even extra. Because I did, not Gerard Butler, Gerard the Minerals. Wait till you see this Gerard. He's better looking than Gerard Butler, I think, honestly. But there's that Gerard. Way better. Whole personality. And Australian. So now Gerard has had a bit of a snafu as well. But TMC I got in the $1 range. So their snafu, I think, is going to be fine as well, because Trump's going to say, no, let that pesky hurdle go. Uncertainties. I don't think these uncertainties, I think these mining stocks could be an industry that's just like ripe for huge growth. But people have to believe. Nobody wants to believe anymore. I'm a believer in Gerard. He has other investors too. You have TMC. The Hess dude invested. Appoino and Michael has. TMC announces 37 million strategic. That wasn't even a dilution. That was huge. And then he has Korea, doing stuff with Korea. So TMC, if he might go down more, because uncertainty, not good. But in the long run, I don't think things will be uncertain. You could also say Omex. That one is another one. But I like Gerard better. See, Omex still has not popped. But TMQ, people, knock. God, why wouldn't it? And then, what are the other ones? It's a little over the counter. Millif. Now, this could be quite a risk. But once again, people, the rewards. Now, it's important to have balance in your stuff. You can't just like only invest in these guys, or that could be problematic for sure. Like, I do have some index funds that were not started by me because those sound boring as shit. But these are not my end-all be-alls, people. These are what we could call gambling. Antimony. That's a nice one. Antimony is definitely a nice one. But Millif obviously has an incredibly long way to go. Less of a way to go. You, people. God, I think you. Trump said that more companies are going to get investment like MP did. And we know what happened with MP. Look at this one. They're going to be processing the rare earth. And they have rare earth. And they have uranium. All sorts of things. Look at MP, people. That's what Trump's administration said. They said MP wasn't the only one that's going to get the Pentagon investment. Pentagon investment for mining companies, people, is just unheard of. So you're looking at MP as our only rare earth miner in America domestically. But then that's not necessarily true, because we have this sweet little baby, NB, and have their Elk Creek in Nebraska. They're located in Texas, though. And they just even said something. They complimented Trump's administration. No, yes, this guy, the Nebraska congressman, he's going to say it's a new bipartisan bill to encourage rare earth and scandium. Scandium's big, people. Big, big, big. And NB has all these. And Apple also invested in MP. So the Trump administration could be encouraging companies, if you like these minerals, we don't want you getting them from other countries, so why don't you just invest in our companies, in these mining companies, so that we can get our minerals and our energy needs in America. That I could totally see that definitely happening. But those for mining. Then we also have safe miners. These are little uranium miners, okay? And this one, ETF with a dividend, 3.99%. And you're going to have Denison. That one's going to be a Canadian one. UEC, domestic. Canadian, not bad though. UUU. I would actually like to just hold UUU by itself as well. But wait a minute. URG, EU. I think this is a nice ETF for little uranium miners, because nuclear is definitely the future, people. I really do think that. Ooh, and we have SMR. This one's going to be a small nuclear reactor. Now, these are very SMR, Oklo, NNE, still speculative, people, but look at their rises. My God. And I almost say LTBR partnered with all these. That one's going to fuel these. So this, definite room for growth. And even Oklo SMR, imagine when they're actually making revenue. I mean, that's going to be a whole new ballgame for them. The powerhouse companies powering all this AI. People don't think you need the copper, and then you're going to need the power. Nuclear is power. But for now, you could also say ASPI. That's another one, doing these field technologies for the nuclear uranium things. Look at them. They're always getting shit on too. Always. And then I might say, right now, they definitely need natural gas. Kinder Morgan. Marjorie and Taylor Greene's in that one. And they're not even on a total high. 29%. But this guy, nice dividend. So these could be safer ones to hedge those mining ones, 5.16%. Then you would also have next. This one's a little riskier, but I do think need for liquid natural gas, big, people. Headquartered Houston, Texas, and big Saudi investment, people, big. Look at this one. Lifted by EU's 750 purchase agreement. That, people, KMI, next. I think interesting. Because of this one, Energy Transfer Unit. Now these guys are a nice fin. Drives potential expansion despite concerns about past distribution cuts. 7.8% yield. These guys, and they're going to be natural gas pipeline transportation transmission, all sorts of crude oil services, investments, Sunoco, other intrastate transportation storage segment own and operate natural gas transportation pipelines. The interstate transportation storage segment includes transportation pipelines, storage facilities, and gathering systems and delivery of natural gas to industrial end users and other gathering systems. This and other pipelines. I think ET, that could be a nice guy as well. So those would be some mining energy guys that I think could have big returns, risky ones, but also some safer ones. I definitely think these guys could be considered a safer one right there.